Fab. Okay, so I've got my starseed cards here today, and one of the things that I feel super passionate about, as you know, like I love this blend of spirituality and science, and really my roots and my background and what have got me to develop spiritually has been through having these kind of grounded roots of techniques like positive psychology and mindfulness and coaching, and once I've got these grounded roots in place, we can then grow, we can then connect. So it's about having this blend of the two. Okay, and this is what I'm seeing more and more, is that you know, a lot of us are somewhere along this continuum of either like having these fab spiritual tools but not having kind of like the grounded neuroscience and the human side of our development in place, or like we've done the human side and we then need to connect in with energy and develop spiritually. Okay, so it's about having these blended tools. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a reading for the collective first, just to see where our focus needs to be for March. And I would like you all, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, I'm going to ask you as well a coaching question that's based on the card that comes out today, based on the energy that comes through, because it's great to get these insights, but we want to be taking the aligned action. Okay, when we manifest, we don't sit in our house and manifest and something suddenly appears. We need to take the aligned action, and this not only shows ourselves that we're serious, that we're showing up for ourselves, but it also shows the universe as well that we are, you know, we're serious and we're taking aligned action. But we can allow the universe to do that 50% of the work, but we need to take the aligned action to get there as well. So, and now the cards are just throwing themselves across the room because they really want to come out today. So maybe it was the cards that were like in my meditation were like nudging me like this, nudging me to get into them. Okay, so okay, we've got 4 cards. We've got 4 cards that have come out for the collective today. Okay, awesome. Wow, and there's some really like dark cards that have come out today, which is very interesting, because I've been feeling, last couple of weeks I've been feeling like a lot of shadows have come up. So there's been a lot of shadows in the collective coming up in February. I think a lot of them started to come out in January. So we've kind of got these shadows that have come up. So I think a lot of us started the new year with this kind of like invigorated energy, ready to go, but the energy wasn't ready to go in the new year. It was like, no, we need to come within. We need to come within, we need to connect within, and then we need to do some healing in February, and then March is when we can go. Okay, that's what I'm feeling. Okay, so so we need to enable us to step into that more, and that's quite, you know, that's quite with the seasons as well, especially for those of us in the UK or in the northern hemisphere. You know, we're coming into spring, we're coming into that energy. If you're in the southern hemisphere, then of course like you're having that kind of opposite. We've got a bit of a polarity going on, but we need to, and that's being shown. So I'll show you with the 2 cards that have the 2 darker cards that have come out. Actually, we'll go through them one by one. So the first card that's come up for the collective is perspective. Okay, and this is like, again, like I said, 2 of the darkest cards in the pack. They're quite light cards, but there's this darkness theme coming through. So perspective, none of this matters, zoom out, common ground. And I actually do this in meditation. Like, can you see, this is the earth. Okay, and I actually do this in meditation when I expand my energy out and I go up into the universe and I zoom right out and I see the earth and I'm zoomed out and my energy is bigger than the earth. It's kind of like out. So when you take this perspective, what this is saying for you is zoom out, see the bigger picture before you go charging ahead. So yes, there is that darkness element to this card. There's a lot of darkness in this card, but it is the universe and there are stars within that darkness as well. So what I'm feeling from this is zoom out and look at it all, the lightness, the dark. look at the bigger perspective of why it is that you're doing what you do. Why is it that you're doing the things that you do, the business that you do, and zooming right out to this perspective rather than getting caught in the details. It's easy for us to get really caught up in the details or the worries or the day-to-day. But this is the perspective that you need to take moving forwards. Okay, so I would encourage you to do this every day, like expand your energy out. A lot of us don't expand our energy out because we are, you know, we've been taught to dull our light, to not speak our truth. And as we go through this journey of unleashing ourselves and speaking our truth and being out there in the world, you know, with our message, with our vision, we need to keep remembering to do this, remembering to shine our light out, because it's so easy to bring it in. Okay, so that's how we are going to move into the energy for March, is by looking at the shadows, zooming out and seeing the bigger perspective of where we want to get to. Okay. The next card, which has come out reversed, is You Are Not For Everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. Okay? And this has been, I know for a lot of us, has been a huge theme lately, has been embracing your unique self and who you are, okay? We are all different. Like, we're all completely different. As much as society or our limiting beliefs tell us that we need to be in a box, or we need to, you know, we have to follow a certain thing, or we have to follow a certain way, the reality is all of us are all made up of atoms and different brain pathways and different connections. And the strengths tool that I use with CAP, the organisation, when I use strengths profiles with my clients, there's 60 strengths. And if you think about just even, I mean, that's boxing in itself, but just like an example of, like, every single person has got their own unique combination of those 60 strengths. And I've had over 1,000 strengths conversations in my time of in my work with coaching and the work I've done with organisations, and I haven't found a single person that's got the same combination of strengths. So we are all uniquely different, and that is where the magic sits, within that weirdness. Okay, and I sometimes feel like I'm proper weird but your tribe and those who love you and those who are connected with you and who are your soul clients are those that get it, and they'll be weird with you. Okay, so this morning, just to like share an example of this morning, I had 90s trance on while I was making breakfast, and I was dancing in the kitchen with the dog. Yeah, even the dog, you know, the dog's part of my tribe. The dog just looks at me like, are you gonna take me for a walk, or are we just gonna dance? But you know, your tribe will get that, and they'll resonate with that. Okay, so this is super important. And again, you know, you can see the glimmers of this kind of universe here as she's ready to jump in and say, this is me. Okay, so it's almost like this transition here from zoom out, what's the bigger picture, zooming out, like shining your incredible energy, and then you transition to being ready to take that leap. And she's kind of like ready to go. I don't know what planet that is, but she's ready to go. She's like, yeah, I get it, I get my weirdness, I have confidence in that weirdness, I'm ready to shine my light and be who my soul wants me to be here on this planet, and leap in. Okay, so the next card that came out is again the second darkest, maybe even darker card in the pack, the Void. Stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. So I feel like this, what I'm feeling for this is what we've already kind of talked about, in that, like, we felt the energy of the new year, and you were like, oh, yes, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to jump into the new year. And this is saying, yeah, but, like, or yes, and perhaps we should say, that's what I've been learning. Yes, and we need to work on these shadows first. Okay, so this is another confirmation of working through these shadows. So it kind of feels like January we had to go within, that then brought some things up. And then moving into March, we need to look at these shadows to move forward. And within these shadows, if you look really closely, there's like a wormhole here. And I heard something incredible last week. So I was on a session that was about ocean light language, and Jill, you were there as well, and she talked about how there's water, in wormholes that connect us into source, and how the ocean, and I'm probably not describing this very well, but the ocean and wormholes are connected because of the amount of water that's in space. So we can use water excuse me, just as I cough and need water, we can use water to bring us back into source. And I find that when I have a salt bath as well, that really, I can really get information from that water, and it can help to cleanse me as well. So yeah, again, just confirmation to go within and to look at the shadows before we move forward. Okay, so the kind of storyboard message from the cards so far is zoom out, look at the bigger picture, look at the bigger perspective, really get in touch with your inner self and your inner knowing, work through those shadows. Okay, so this is where we come out of alignment with ourselves, because our shadows can take us off into different tangents. And I've literally just come off this morning a workshop that I was running for a friend of mine, the ladies in her program, and I was talking about how mindfulness really is like the bread and butter, because it really is. Like, through mindful awareness we can see where we've come off track, and if we're practicing mindfulness meditation every day, we can be like, oh, hang on, oh, I'm feeling a little bit out of alignment, what's happening, what do I need to do? Okay, this shadow's coming up, and this is coming out for me in these ways, and this is what I need to do to step back into that aligned path. That could be as simple as, like, just now I took a sip of water. It could be as simple as that. My body needs some water right now, I'm dehydrated. It could be a really simple self-care step, which is going to have so many ripple and knock-on effects because we've listened to our body and we've tuned into what we need. Okay, and the last card is so similar. It's really funny how they've come out, the two dark cards and two similar cards. The last card is wait. It's not time yet, things are being woven, and this has very much been the energy of 2022. 2022 started for me with this like massive download of some stuff that I've got coming, part of which was the retreat that we ran last weekend, so the replay of that is still available to purchase as a self-led option, with 66% off. So that was kind of like the main reason for doing that, this new energy, this new surge of energy. But then it was almost like also wait. So it was like, do the retreat, like help everyone to come in, help the group to just come within, tune back into that soul alignment plan, and any shadows that are coming up to kind of then clear to move forward. And then, then the downloads are going to come. Then this star, I'm seeing it as like stardust, this new energy this year. It's like stardust. It's like we've moved through the darkness, but we need to clear that darkness within us to be able to access that stardust fully, so that we're a clear channel to receive it. So the energy of this card is very much just wait, just be in this holding pattern and make sure that you've looked at these shadows and you've cleared these shadows before jumping in, because if you don't here's the story of the cards. If you don't clear these shadows, you can't do this. Okay, and this is something that used to come up for me a lot. I'm weird, I'm different, oh, I must be broken, oh, I must have something wrong with me, oh, the child me was right all along, yeah, there's something wrong with me, I should just hide from the world. Okay, so these are the things that kind of come up in the shadows. If we don't look into these shadows and we don't clear them, we're not truly embracing this, because every time we try and consciously push ourselves out into the world, these shadows are here and they're going to pull us back, or they're going to create situations that make us feel anxious or make us feel triggered, or bring people into our lives to trigger us and push us back into alignment. Okay, so we need to do the shadow work. And as I've said, that Ziggy's now arrived, and I think like he's a black cat, so he represents shadows as well. I love all the signs. I'm like, give me signs. Okay, so my coaching question for you all is, what do you need what do you need to do to zoom out and to work through your shadows so that you're ready to step into your authentic self? What could that look like for you? So this is a coaching question for the collective, for the group, to enable you to move into this energy, which I'm seeing is this, like, it's like a stardust energy. It's like rocket fuel, is how I'm seeing it, is how I've been shown it. And it's proper quick. And what do you know, what's great about it being like super quick is that we can heal really quickly. Okay, so things are being shown to us really quickly and we can clear them, but we need to take responsibility for clearing them. We need to take responsibility for clearing these shadows. Okay, so what I'm feeling is that, and does anyone know anyone called Jasper? Because I'm now getting shown Jasper, whatever that means. So let me know if that resonates with anyone. We need to take responsibility. So perhaps someone's got some shadows that are linked to something to do with something Jasper. We need to take responsibility for these shadows to enable us to step into our true power, to then make that leap. Okay. Oh, sorry, can you hear the bells? That's Ziggy drinking his water, because all the cat things are in here, because we've had to, because I've become a part-time dog stepmom, when we have the dogs, we've had to put a stair gate, have the cat upstairs and the dogs downstairs, because one of the dogs is a collie and thinks that anything is a sheep. So whenever he sees Ziggy, he goes for him. So we've had to separate them. So all of Ziggy's things are up here. So he's got all his food and everything up here with me, which is quite lovely. So I work here. He's my little mascot. So yeah, if you can hear bells, Ziggy's got a bell on his collar and it bangs against his water when he drinks it. Okay, so I can see your comments coming through as well. Yeah, Jill. At Christmas time, it was like there was a reindeer in the room or something. Okay, awesome. Yeah, glad they resonate with you. Yeah. So if the shadows are generational, then you know you've got the skills, you've got the healing skills to do this. Just ask to be shown and just send healing back. I've done some generational shadow work, and you can ask to be shown, and you can look at those things inside of you and do that shadow work process on those, and you can also send back healing. So remember, time and space doesn't exist how we are led to believe it exists, so we can send that healing back through those generations, and just setting that intention to help send that back. Ziggy Stardust and connecting with the water. Yes. Oh my gosh, Mimi. Yes. There's some more. There's like so many synchronicities happening right now. Ziggy Stardust, exactly. Just as he walks in, and he's drinking water too. So he's, you know, we're very much in alignment. Amazing. Okay, so let me know what action are you going to take, and this is how I use oracle cards in coaching as well, and use them as a coaching tool, because the pictures give us so many metaphors, but then we can take the aligned action, because we've kind of stretched our thinking and it's given us a new way of looking at what's happening. We can then take the aligned action. So let me know in comments, how are you going to embrace your authentic self, zoom out, see that bigger picture, and work through those shadows to move you into that energy that you need to move forward for the rest of the year.